Yogic traditions assert that freedom is a shift from self-judgment to self-awareness. So freedom here points to an inner unbinding, where attention shifts from attacking me to clearly seeing what's here. The nervous system and the sense of self relax, and new possibilities of response open up. What's the distinction between self-judgment and self-awareness? Well, self-judgment says something is wrong with me, often using comparison and perfectionist standards. It breeds fear, anxiety, stagnation, and a chronic sense of not being good enough. Self-awareness says, this is what is happening to me. Self-awareness says, this is what is happening in me, aiming to understand rather than to condemn. It notices patterns of thoughts, emotions, and behavior with relative objectivity, which allows learning and repair. A simple illustration: after snapping at a friend, self-judgment says, I'm a terrible person. Self-awareness says, I was exhausted and scared, and I reacted defensively. So this shift feels like freedom because judgment triggers the body's threat systems. Muscle tension, shallow breath, elevated heart rate, a fight and flight response, which creates an internal climate of inflammation and stress and on and on. In that state, self-judgment, choices narrow. We either attack ourselves even more, or we avoid, or we compulsively try to fix the so-called bad self. Awareness de-threatens experience by naming what is happening: tight chest, shame, urge to withdraw, without adding a story of defect. That clarity loosens the identification with the reaction. This is happening in me, not all of me. From a non-dual angle, judgment reinforces a solid me who is deficient, while awareness reveals all of that: shame, fear, self-talk as passing experiences in awareness itself. So awareness turns raw reactivity into information. You start to see repeated emotional weather patterns instead of isolated failures. With patterns visible, you can choose different responses. You can repair relationships and design environments that fit your real needs. This moves life from being run by unconscious conditioning to being guided by consciously seen beliefs and habits, which may describe a sense of inner freedom. For example, every time I'm criticized, I shut down and overwork to prove myself. This seeing lets you gently question by seeing the underlying belief and experiment with new boundaries. So there are many practices that enact the shift. You name experiences, not identity. There is anger and tightness instead of I'm awful, or I'm awful all the time, or I can never be good enough. Practices that track emotional patterns over time rather than dissecting every decision are like watching your emotional climate instead of checking the temperature every moment. Acknowledging pain and fallibility as part of common humanity interrupts harsh inner narratives. Then, if you pause, whenever shoulds appear, I should do this, I shouldn't do this, whenever that appears in the internal dialogue, pause. Notice the body's response. This turns judgment into an object of awareness rather than a commander. Over time, even the movement, I must be non-judging, can be seen as another thought arising in awareness. And the deepest freedom is resting as that aware space in which judgment and non-judgment both come and go. So this is very concrete, okay? You can, if you want, invite a recent situation where you messed up and then notice the first judging thought that appears. I'm so lazy, I'm so rude, and silently label it judging thought. Then immediately ask, instead of what's wrong with me, ask what is happening in me. And then, notice things like tightness chest, heat in the face, sadness, fear of being rejected. And then, start to notice. Judgment appears, you label it as judging, then you return to describing sensations and emotions. Okay, enough. I hope this will help you in your journey from self-judgment to self-awareness.